Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Ready from Rady's Rides. We're back here at Costaline Exotics in Palmetto, Florida, and guess what? I have that one high-performance sports car that shocked the automotive world. It's this car right here. This is a 1993 Dodge Viper RT10. But before we get into this V10 powered sports car, let's talk about what's going on here. So back in the early 1990s, Dodge did something that rocked the world. And it all was down to a couple gentlemen. You had Lee Iacocca, yes, that Lee Iacocca, who's the father of the Mustang and the Dodge Caravan. You have a guy by the name of Bob Lutz, and of course we can't forget good old Carroll Shelby. Carroll Shelby, after 1970, left the automotive scene for a while. He actually went on a safari on the continent of Africa. When he came back, he partnered up with Lee Iacocca, who became the CEO of Chrysler, and that's where we started to see some new magic coming from Carroll Shelby and the Chrysler brands. Now for 1992, that was the official birth of the Dodge Viper, and it really was revolutionary in so many ways. Not only because of its naturally aspirated V10, but also for that first generation, no ABS, no traction control, none of it. It was pure driving engagement. But what I want to find out is this 93 Dodge Viper RT10 one of the greatest sports cars ever built in the history of the automobile? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, that color, the bright red, really is a signature color to the Dodge Viper. The early ones, especially that first year, were just available in red. Eventually they offered black, and then by 96, you would see some other colors like white. 96 was the only year that they offered white on the Viper Roadster, because remember, by 96, that's where we see the introduction of the GTS Coupe, and that was technically Generation 2, the start of Generation 2. Now at the front of the business, you're gonna notice that 1990 style, very rounded, large headlight housing, but we have projector beam headlights in there, everything else blacked out. Working our way down, we have to have the signature fog lamps, and I love the way that they're nestled behind this plexiglass window. And just really a nice, clean, simple design. As you know, and if you didn't, I'm here to tell you, Carroll Shelby, the father of the 427 Cobra, took a lot of the influence from his Cobra and brought it into this car. All about simplicity, bare bones, nothing else. Now, as we come across the front, these racing stripes are added. They have been added over the past few years. 1993, you couldn't get racing stripes yet, but I do like the addition of the black racing stripes. There's that Viper badge, gonna bite you right in the freaking neck. That'd be a good way to go. And then here is the signature 1990s front fascia of all the Dodge vehicles. It was basically this crosshair setup, and it works very well on the front of our Viper. The way that design is fully functional. I like the way the lip drops down so you don't have to worry about an additional split or anything like that. But this car is so bare bones that it doesn't even have side windows. Doesn't even have exterior door locks or door handles. That's how bare bones this car is. Now, as we rise up, you got that long, it's like a piece of bubble gum that's been pulled, a chewed up bubble gum. Long hood with those racing stripes. We swing around the backside, you do have two functional heat extractors. Nice wire mesh, and this gives it that snake-like appearance in the hood, having that form and function there, looking fantastic. Now, as we come around the bend, and we're gonna swing it around, and Steven's gonna come around from the front side, and then we're gonna go and look at what this wheel. Now, the wheels on this car are not the stock wheels. And let me show you. So on this wheel, these are actually wheels from the second generation. The first gen had those shark gray wheels. It was like a triple blade. A lot of people switch those out because those are 16-inch wheels and go with this wheel, which is a 17-inch wheel. Now, tires up front are 275 on the width, 40 series sidewall, and you can see what we were working with, braking capability. It only has 4 piston calipers up front with the Viper name on it, very small discs, and the tire technology still wasn't there like it is today. So to do 167 miles an hour in this thing is something where you really got to know what you're doing, or you're going to pucker up, Buttercup, if anything happens going down the road. But definitely, I like the wheel. It has that old Viper feel, but I wish that it had the original triple saw blade setup. That really gave it a signature look. Now, as we go down the side of the vehicle, I like the Viper RT10 badge, looking good. And then Steven's gonna swing around and show you those functional side vents, just like a snake. And then of course, our functional side exhaust. This was something that by the second generation on the Roadsters and the Coupes, they did not have side exhaust anymore. People were burning their legs because of so much heat, so they routed the exhaust out the back. Don't worry, by the third generation, side pipes will come back into existence. But I love the first gen with that flat black side pipe. Like I said, looking at a 427 Cobra, it makes sense that they have side pipes. Now, this one has the optional hardtop, and like I said, no side windows. It actually comes with plexiglass that will slide into those openings, and then no door handles. You actually have to reach in to open up the door handle. Now, coming towards the rear, I love this portion of the rear pillar here with the removable hardtop. And then working our way down, this is where you're gonna find more rubber to meet the road here. So wider wheels and tires. Out back, you're looking at 335s. That was super wide back then in 1993. And then swinging around the backside, look at how low that rear trunk lid deck is. You got your 1990 style taillights on the Viper, your Dodge badge, and then that rear glass window is actually removable, just like the hardtop removable. And the side windows, basically what it is, it's canvas, like convertible top material that has a little small plexiglass sliding window built into the canvas, and it slides in. Only needed for when it's raining. Now, working our way down to ground level, I love the way they did this lower diffuser area. Super clean, super aggressive, because the exhausts come out the back. It's just crazy how low this car is and how small it is overall. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what kind of snake venom is underneath it. All right, guys, we got that clamshell opening, that reverse clamshell open up hood on this Dodge Viper RT10. Very interesting, because you actually have to release it from the front, lift up, and then pull it back towards the front of the vehicle. Much different than the third generation of the Viper. But with that hood open, there she is in all of her glory. That is that 8-liter naturally aspirated V10. Love the intake runners. It looks like a bundle of snakes that are slithering from one side of the V10 to the other. Remember, that is essentially a Dodge Ram truck V8 with 2 additional cylinders, and Lamborghini, which was owned by Chrysler during this time period, actually helped with the development of this V10. But you're looking at 400 horsepower, 450 pound-feet of torque. It may not sound like a lot, but back in 1993, it was a ton of horsepower, made it to 1 transmission. And that's one thing I love about the Viper. There's only been 1 transmission available. That's the 6-speed manual. 0 to 60 in this thing, 4.3 seconds, quarter mile in 13 seconds flat at 110 miles per hour. Top speed, 163 miles per hour. The vehicle weighs 3,400 pounds. MPGs, not too bad for a V10, 13 in the city, 22 on the highway. Now remember, even though this may not have 1,000 horsepower, no ABS on the first generation and the second generation, well, later into the second generation of the Viper, but on the first gen, no ABS, no traction control, none of those nannies, no torque vectoring, none of that. It's just you, your right foot, and that 6-speed manual. But why don't we go ahead? We got the side pipes let's fire up this V10 and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're in this, and boy, oh boy, what a crazy experience being in this 1993 Dodge Viper RT10. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I had the poster of this car on my room wall, had the poster, had posters of Pamela Anderson. My mom didn't like that. But how much is this car, Joe? Well, back in 1993, it was kind of pricey. It was $56,000. Today, obviously values depends on the condition, the mileage and everything else, but kind of cool that Costaline Exotics has this in their lineup. But let's see what old school Viper was all about back in 1993. To the door panels. All that's there is your seatbelt, which is attached to the door. Not the safest setup, but this isn't about safety. And then you got the two-tone. The Viper had very hard plastics and just very bare bones. Some carpet, and then you have your speaker system. But if you're actually listening to the speakers in here, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you, because the V10 sounds glorious. Going from the door panel to the dash, hard plastic. They did get the interiors better by the fifth generation. Fifth generation goes from 2013 to 2017. The two-tone. I love the quad setup gauges. Your coolant, your oil pressure, battery amp, and your fuel gauge. You do have 3 AC vents because we do have AC, believe it or not, in this car. Old school Kenwood custom stereo system. And then you have where you're going to want to run a radar detector. This is where the magic happens. You have that 6-speed manual transmission, Borg Warner 6-speed manual. Good old-fashioned e-brake. This is for putting your Jolly Ranchers in. Hard plastic, but it's not about the plastic. It's about the driving experience. More speakers, and then the seats look fantastic. I love the way the bolstering, it's comfortable, but it's enough to hold you in place. You got manual adjustments for the passenger, manual adjustments for the driver, no side windows, no power door locks. Well, technically it does have power door locks because you have a key fob. Let me show you what that key fob looks like. So here's your key fob with the old Chrysler badge there, and you could actually unlock and lock. But remember, there's no side windows, so somebody could just reach their hand in and open the door if they want to. Kind of interesting. And then, of course, we have our hardtop, which that is totally removable. But why don't you go ahead, get over here. I want to show you behind the non-airbag equipped steering wheel in this Dodge Viper. All right, guys, we are doing the business end of this Viper RT10. Large sill plates get very hot because of that side exhaust. Pedal box, it's almost too small for my feet. I wear size 12. You have a clutch pedal, your brake, and your throttle. You can do your heel-toe downshifting, but there's no dead pedal in here. So you actually want to rest your foot underneath the clutch pedal, not on it, because if you do that, you're going to burn out the clutch. Manual seat adjustments, it's all about saving weight in here. I'm barely able to fit with this top. Just something to think about. I'm 6 feet tall. Steering wheel, I kind of love it. Old school GT style steering wheel, no airbag. You got the Viper badge there staring you down, that snake. Horn works. And then I like the white face gauges, just like our auxiliary gauges, speedometer, and a tachometer that revs out to 6,000 RPM. Very interesting how curved that windshield is. Now there is a trunk. You can fit a couple duffel bags in there, but I'm not about duffel bags. You want to know what I'm about? I'm about to show you. If you're ready, I'm ready. I want to go on throttle in this Viper. All right, guys. Teenage Joe Rady is really having a special moment. It's one of those cars that I had posters of it on my bedroom, posters of it when I went to college. Hell, I even had posters of Vipers in my classroom when I used to teach. And now we're sitting in this 1993, the rawest, the bare bones of all the generations. Obviously, I can't roll the windows up because there are no windows. But I'm gonna keep the top on just to kind of keep some of the sound in here so you could hear me. What's interesting is that once you get a feel for the pedal box, where the pedals are, it's actually not too bad. My feet don't feel cramped. When I look at it, I'm like, damn, how am I gonna be able to do the dance going through the gearbox? Clutch feels great. Good pickup point, and it's not heavy at all. And look at this, and we're off. On throttle! Love the sound of that V10 coming out of the side pipes. Unbelievable, look at this. The gearbox is absolutely phenomenal. Woo-hoo-hoo! Another thing is, watch this when I do a U-turn. I'm actually very impressed with this Viper. Look at this. A lot of modern sports cars cannot do that. And this does it just fine. Wow. You ready? On throttle! You feel everything. You're part of this car. And after all these years, she's still kicking, baby. And boy, oh boy, does she want to party with you. I'm ready to party. I know that. Wow. It's actually, if you know what you're doing, it's fairly easy to drive. You just got to be mindful because there are no safety features whatsoever. No safety features, believe it or not. We're gonna cross the street here as soon as these guys cross the road. Oh, I feel like I'm at Le Mans going down the Mulsanne. Oh my God. The torque. It just, even though this car does not have 1,000 horsepower like some of today's cars, it's in a wrapper that you feel everything. So you feel like you're going 1,000 times faster than in modern cars today. Oh, and like I said, this gearbox, it's actually freaking good. Look at this. Yes, yes. Very quick on turning. Woo! Woo! No traction control. No traction control. No airbags. I love it. It's like I'm riding with Carroll Shelby right now. And it feels amazing. Look at this. V10, baby, V10. Pushrod V10. Woo-hoo! Oh my God. Oh. God, this is amazing. This is effing amazing. Gotta go slow over the bump. There we go, up and over. Brake pedal is solid as a rock, man. You just gotta be careful. No traction control. Woo! Woo! Listen to that. Oh my God. Oh my God, this is so much fun. I want one of these. I knew I wanted a Viper. I want one. I want one. I want one. I thought I was just gonna go, if I ever got one, 5th gen, but I'm digging the 1st gen here. Even a 2nd gen, a GTS, sign me up. One more time. Oh yeah. we gotta wrap this one up. I hope you enjoyed the ride. I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a rip-roaring V10 experience here at Costaline Exotics. Definitely want to thank Josh and the whole crew getting us access to this Viper RT10. Let me know what you think. No safety features, no ABS, not even a driver's side freaking airbag. Is this one of the best, one of the greatest sports cars ever built? Let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rice family. Got to give it up to the Flood Man. He loved this snake. He's a snake charmer now. He's actually going to start practicing for all different types of snakes, especially water moccasins, because I think there's a few around here. But thank you, Stephen, for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.